Hi, welcome. My name's Tanya, and I'm here to guide you today on a meditation. But before we get started, I would like to give you some background on myself. When I was in 7th grade, I was about 12 years old. That's when I discovered smoking weed. And of course, after that, things progressed to other substances and alcohol. And was having a good time for a very long time. And I felt great, and everything was hunky-dory. And eventually I got married and wanted to have a child. My husband and I, at that time, we were still partying a lot. We were both working, and we had money, not a lot, but enough to go and have a good time. We used to go to Laughlin and Vegas a lot, just have a good time. And then we decided we're going to settle down. So that's when I stopped partying, well, at least doing drugs. And I was able to quit on my own, which is surprising because by that time I already had been doing it. I didn't get pregnant with my son had him till I was 33. So if I was 12, 13, that's, 30 years. No, sorry, excuse me. 20 years that I already had been partying. Anyways, but yeah, I quit on my own. We had our son. He's awesome. And I continued to drink a lot. And yeah, we messed around with stuff every now and then. But my drinking got progressively worse through the years because that's what alcohol does to you. It sneaks up on you. And before you realize it, you are way out of control and your life is out of control. And you eventually become powerless against the disease because it is a disease. And here I was now 53 years old, and ever since COVID hit, that's when I got really, really, really bad. And you're going to hear a lot of noise in the background. I live by the hospital, so there's a lot of ambulances coming by, and when we meditate, you're probably going to hear these noises, so I'm just giving you a heads up. Anyways, it's okay because when we meditate, we learn that whatever's going on around us is meant to be, so we just learn how to deal with it. Just like life, we learn how to deal with it. So anyways, to get back on the subject, last year in June, I finally decided, you know what, this stuff is really going to kill me. I was losing friends. I was about to lose my job. I couldn't really function at work. I was starting to drink a lot, even on my way to work, on my lunch break, on my break, on my way home. When I got home, wake up feeling like shit, drink again, and it was just a vicious cycle. And I knew it wasn't getting better, and my health was declining, and my emotions were out of control, and it wasn't even fun anymore. It started to make me just sick, and I started losing not just health and my dignity, but I started to lose friends, and my family became very worried about me, and I also became very worried about myself. So I spoke with my family, and I checked myself into rehab, which is the best thing I could have done. And when I was in rehab, I was speaking with my counselor, and she had asked me what my goals were in life. And I had explained to her that when COVID first started, I was really worried about the kids. I could not get my mind off of these poor children that were coming from abusive homes or maybe didn't have enough food to eat. And for them to go to school, that was a safe haven for them. And that's where they could get two decent meals, breakfast and lunch, and maybe even a snack. And the kids that were coming from abusive homes, that was their respite to go and just find some peace and tranquility. So I couldn't get them off of my mind. And at that time, even though I was heavy in my addiction, that's also at the same time when I started becoming spiritual. It was just maybe a couple years before COVID hit. So all of a sudden one day out of the blue, it hit me that my life's calling was to teach children how to meditate, because at that time their lives were just so stressful and they were stuck at home. They were used to being out playing with their friends and being in school, and now they're confined to this little space. And I couldn't stop thinking about how terrifying it could have been at times. So I said, okay, I got it. I got that lightning bolt through my skull. Okay, that's my job. My calling is to teach kids how to meditate, teach them how to regulate their nervous systems, and go to a safe place in their head. And while I was in rehab again, I was talking to my counselor. She had been asking me what my goal was, and I explained that to her. And as the time went on while I was in rehab, it hit me again that I have a second calling that still had to do with meditation, but it was to give back and be of service to my sisters in recovery. And that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm really here to focus on, because we all need love, and I, out of anybody, understand where you're coming from. We have a special bond, a special connection, and we know how difficult it is. So that's why I'm here. So that's my background story. Now I want to give you some tips about the benefits of meditation. So it's not only good for our mental health, but it's good for our physical health. And with our mental health, what it does is it only takes 30 days of meditation for 5 minutes. Imagine that, 5 minutes. And in that time, you're going to notice that you're less anxious and you're less stressful. And what starts to happen is your brain actually starts to change. And it's the part of your brain called the hippocampus, which is the part of your brain that helps with your learning and your memory. So that's amazing in itself. Also with meditation, what it does in the long term is, again, you have to be consistent with it. It reduces the inflammation in your brain, which actually what that does for your brain is it helps to slow down the aging of your brain. And with an even longer consistent meditation, there are neuroscience data. This is all coming from neuroscience data. Neuroscience data is the study of your nervous system focusing majorly on your brain. So they're starting to find that's what they're looking into now, that is very possible with very long-term meditation, that it can actually reverse your aging brain. Imagine that. Okay. So what that actually does, it enhances your brain chemistry, and it enhances your brain connectivity, and it alters your brain chemistry. And I'll explain that to you in a little bit. So, and the mental aspects of it is it reduces the cortisol production in your body, and the cortisol is your stress hormone. And what that does is it helps to regulate your nervous system. It helps to regulate your blood pressure. And in turn, what that does is it helps to lower your blood pressure after a period of time, a brief period, but again, consistent. So it also, of course, it's going to reduce your anxiety and your stress. It's going to help you sleep better. It's going to prevent you from having autoimmune issues. There's just so many benefits. I can't even name them all, and I can't remember them all. But there's just a ton of health benefits. So what it basically means is you're going to learn how to focus better. you're going to feel better, you're going to be healthier, and you're not even going to realize it. Of course you're going to realize it, but you're going to start to notice little details here and there, like, whoa, hey, that's amazing. Hey, I remember why I came in this room. Hey, I remember where my keys are. Hey, I'm in a great mood. Hey, I'm sleeping better. It's just so many great benefits. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. Let's just jump into the meditation now. But one more thing before we do, I just want to explain a couple things. So with meditation, we usually sit up straight, shoulders back, not too rigid. But right now, if you're having any kind of issues and maybe you can't sit up for a long time, or you're not feeling well, you need to lay down, that's perfectly fine. You do what feels comfortable for you. And because I am trauma informed, because we are dealing with women in recovery, and pretty much I can almost guarantee them most of us have been through trauma. I know I have, and I know everybody I've ever spoke with has. So because we're trauma informed, or I am, you don't have to close your eyes when you meditate. Typically we do, but if you don't feel safe or comfortable, that's quite all right too. Go ahead and leave your eyes open, but I invite you to have a slight gaze in front of you, and maybe have your gaze on a focal point, something where you can put all your focus. So with that being said, now we're going to start. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to sit up straight, and you find whatever position feels best for you. So what I want to start with, please, is I want to invite you to take 2 large inhales through your nostrils. Your inhale and exhale through your nostrils. So with meditation, we always start with our breathing body. We're going to inhale and exhale always through our nostrils. So right now, I invite you to focus. Okay, here we go. Dogs barking in the background again. That's just life happening. Eventually, those things won't even faze you, but I'm just pointing that out because I'm sure you're hearing it. So it's just life being life. It happens. It's supposed to happen. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do to prevent it. So whatever distractions may come in later on, I'm not going to acknowledge it anymore, because you know why I'm not acknowledging it. So, okay, let's get back to our breath. So again, in and out through your nose. And what I would like you to do is focus on the tips of your nostrils, right in front, the tip of your nose. And I want you to notice how that feels as you inhale and exhale. So let's practice that for a moment. Tell me if you feel the sensation of your breath as it enters through your nostrils and as it exits through your nostrils. Just notice that sensation. What does it feel like? Does it feel cooler as you breathe in and warmer as you breathe out? Just keep focusing on that point in your nose. And it's very possible by now that your mind has started to drift off somewhere else. It's very natural. Don't think you're doing anything wrong. It happens to all of us. It happens to me. It happens to people who've been meditating much longer than I have. But once you notice that and you're aware of it, I invite you to please bring your focus back to your nostrils and your breath. Maybe you notice the rise and fall of your chest as you inhale and as you exhale. And again, when your mind starts to wander away, just be aware of it and bring your focus back to your breathing. Maybe you feel the sensation of your stomach rising and falling as well. Just keep focusing on your breath. Please breathe naturally. Don't try to force your breath. Hopefully by now you feel your body more relaxed. Maybe your heartbeat a little slower. And now at this time in our meditation, we're going to switch to a different style. Now we're going to focus on our thoughts and our emotions. So what I'd like to invite you to do is just realize whatever it is that you might be thinking about, or what kind of emotion is going through you. If you're upset or if you're happy. Whatever thought or emotion you're having at this time, what I invite you to do is just sit with that thought or emotion. Try not to label it. Try not to think of it as something negative or even something positive. Just watch it. Whatever it is, try not to judge it either. We just want to see it. Maybe try to even look at it as though you're an outsider looking at it as something that somebody else is thinking about or feeling emotionally. Because whatever it is that's going on in your head right now is a part of life. It is what it is. And it's constantly changing. Everything, and I mean everything, is impermanent. So if it's an unpleasant thought, the reason why we don't want to label it and dig deep inside of it is because what we tend to do is go down the rabbit hole and start turning something into a bigger problem, and we start ruminating in it, and that causes us to suffer. And what we're trying not to do here, we don't want to suffer. We just are trying to look at it and acknowledge it and say, I see you. I know you're here. And that's okay. Because pretty soon you're going to be gone. And I'll be on my way thinking about something else or feeling something else. And by now, I'm pretty sure you're thinking about or having a different emotion. And even if it's a pleasant one, we still don't want to label it. Because say you're thinking about you want a job, making more money, or you want a better looking boyfriend, or you want a nice car. Believe it or not, this also causes suffering. Because what it's doing is it's just making you want more and more and more. And then eventually nothing is never enough. You're never satisfied. You keep seeking instant gratification. And once you get it, you're going to look for something else. So that's why, again, we just want to acknowledge it and say, hey, I see you. And what I like to do is envision myself taking whatever thought or emotion is into my hands gently. And I blow it out into the universe, going far, far away. And of course, your mind probably started to wander. Again, it's so very natural. Please do not think you're doing something wrong. It's a part of us, of who we are as humans. And that's why meditation is called a practice. We're practicing to learn how to focus better. So let's sit with this moment for a little while and practice this part of our meditation. And please continue to breathe naturally in and out through your nostrils. Again, please remember, everything is impermanent. It's constantly changing. That's why we don't want to hold on to things, because something different's going to come along very soon. We don't want to grasp onto it. We don't want to crave it, or we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, because again, that just leads to suffering. Acknowledge it. Let it go. Maybe even thank it. If it's a good, pleasant thought, say, hey, thank you. I'm going on to something else now. So, and by now, during this time of our meditation, again, I want to change focus onto a compassion meditation. Because we all deserve compassion. especially us. We've been through brutal, brutal times. And right now, everybody in the world are going through brutal, brutal times. But especially, I think us women in recovery have had it a lot harder than most women who haven't had to deal with recovery and all the trauma that's been caused and what we've gone through. You know, it continues to happen, and that's why I'm trying to teach you how to meditate so you can start focusing on healing yourself. So again, with this compassion meditation, what I would like you to do is envision yourself standing tall like a tree with your feet in the ground, maybe in the nice cool grass, or possibly in the warm sand at the beach. Stand tall and strong like a big oak tree, with your arms spread out wide, maybe about elbow length, and with your palms up towards the sky. And what I'd like you to do is envision the top of your head, which we call the crown chakra. Envision that opening up and this beautiful, beautiful white light with golden shimmering speckles flowing through it, penetrating the top of your head and slowly easing down your head, through your neck, through your arms, through your chest, your torso, your stomach, through your legs. And this beautiful white golden light is penetrating every cell of your body. You feel your body, your energy just glowing and just feeling so wonderful, because this light that is going through your body is pure love. It's healing you. It's nothing but love and kindness. And it's just penetrating into your heart. Everywhere, everywhere. And it just starting to flow through the bottom of your feet, deep down into Mother Earth. And it's going deep, spreading like roots from the oak tree, deep, deep down, all the way into the core of the earth. And you feel it just shooting back up, all this beautiful golden white light, up through your feet, up through the top of your head, and back out into the universe. And envision this capsule surrounding your body, and this beautiful white golden light is just surrounding it, and it's keeping you safe. And you're just feeling nothing but love and compassion. And as it comes out of the top of your head, try to envision it encircling the planet. And try to see it falling like raindrops down onto the earth, into our oceans, onto the land, down deep into the core of the earth, into the water systems, into the creatures, all the animals, the creatures and animals and fish in the ocean, everything that's alive, the trees, our food sources, and especially into the people. This beautiful healing light, this beautiful, loving, pure light, penetrating everybody, bringing us healing for whatever type of healing we need. Whether we're coming from a war-torn area or we're famished, we don't have enough to eat, or even if we just have some kind of horrible egotistical pride issues. Just everybody. We all need love and compassion. We all need to make this world a better place to live in. So just envision that. Just soak it in. Send all that loving energy out into the world, into the planet. And again, mostly send it to yourself. See that capsule of beautiful light surrounding you and protecting you. At this time, nothing can harm you. You're safe. Just keep focusing on that image in your head. Never forget, no matter what you've done, no matter what you've been through, you have love and kindness in your heart, and you can bring it out at any time. You're worthy. We are all worthy. We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be loved and to give love back. You're precious. Be kind to yourself. When you're kind to yourself, you could be kind to other people. And you could accept kindness from other people. So now let's take it back to the breath for a few moments. Let's focus again on the air as you inhale and exhale. As we conclude this meditation, I invite you to take 2 more big inhales through your nostrils, but this time release them through your mouth and make them audible so you can hear them. 2 really deep breaths. Fill your lungs with that beautiful oxygen and be grateful that we can take in that oxygen and we're still breathing. So let's take those 2 deep breaths now. you to open your eyes. Just take a big stretch. Oh, it feels good. Welcome back. I want to thank you for joining me today. Just one more thing I'd like to say to you. If you relapse, and as long as you get back to getting back onto the right path, try not to beat yourself up, because it happens. But just get back on track as soon as you can, because your life is worth it. And you have a long time left to do something good with yourself. Just because you've been through bad things doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Deep inside, there's greatness in all of us. We just got to find it and pull it out of ourselves. And it's hard, but it's very possible. I've done it. So I'm praying for you, my sisters in recovery. I wish you all the best. Take really good care of yourselves, please. Thank you.